What's up, guys, and welcome back to Athena's Garage. In today's video, we're going to be upgrading the ditch lights on the Tundra. Let's get right into it. Shout out to Suparee right here for sending me these sweet two Recons, or Recon 2s, whatever they're called here, pod lights. These are for my truck. I'm going to be using them as ditch lights. I have looked in here already, so just a fair warning. And again, Suparee did send me these to try out, so shout out to them for sending me these. So if you look on the sides here, these things are white, so versus my other light, they will be white. My other lights are yellow, and this is a spotlight, but they do have a DRL built into them, which is awesome. Here's some specs here if you want to look at that. And here's this side. This box is actually pretty cool. And they did send me some stickers, which unfortunately this didn't arrive in time for Christmas. It was pretty late, but it is what it is. So here's the instructions. Here we go here. It should be pretty easy because I already have everything wired up for my truck for ditch lights. So I'm just going to rewire these in with the included plugs. So that should be really nice. And the DRLs, I'm going to tap into the front amber lights that I have on my truck that I put in last year or so. So here's a little stuff they sent me. This is kind of cool. It's like an actual solid card. Little Christmas stickers. I like that one. That one's pretty cool. But here are the lights. Again, I've already opened this and looked at them. Comes with a wiring harness, fully equipped with a relay, built-in waterproof connectors, a switch. Little nice switch here. I don't think I'll be using this. If I have to, I will, but I don't think I'll need to because I have some extra wiring. Here are the lights. They're actually really nice. I was surprised at how nice they were. Look at the little logo there. They are all aluminum, so they should be pretty resistant to weather and stuff. I believe they're going to look awesome on the truck. They are a little small, but I think they're the form factor of them. It's going to look nice on my truck. Because of the way the ones that are on there now, they're about the same size. So even though the other ones are big, more lights, these are only two LEDs in here. So it does come with two connectors like this, which this is what I will be utilizing, these connectors here. I'm super glad they sent these because I didn't want to have to cut this wiring harness up. So it actually works in my favor that they sent these out. So thank you for that. And then they also come with the little bolt kit for the bottom here and these black covers, which I haven't actually opened this yet. Let's see. Maybe if I can open it. There we go. Kind of nice little cover here. Oh yeah, it fits in there perfect. Actually, it's pretty sweet. So that covers it up, protects your lights if you're not going to be using them, which I don't use these. My ditch lights very often, so it'll be nice. And I do recall them saying, see, I was supposed to get two Recon amber covers to make it amber, but I don't see, there's nothing in here that does that. It's just another black cover. So maybe they forgot, maybe it wasn't included in this one, I don't know. But we didn't get them, so oh well. That's all right. I'm not worried about it. I kind of like the white lights anyway. They should be pretty bright compared to what I have. So let's go over to the truck and see what we're working with. If you follow my channel, you know I have these cheap Nye lights on here right now. They've actually done really well, and I have had no issues with them whatsoever. No clouding, no like fogging up. They are a spot flood combo. They do all right for the price of them. I mean, these things are like $20. I think I paid for these. So they're not bad for the price. I will be using these, though, on this 400, so ignore all this stuff. You'll see that later on in a different video. But let's get to this. I'm going to go ahead and pop the hood, and if you recall or have watched my previous video installing these, all the wiring harness should be hooked up, and all I have to do is put the new connector on here and then rerun a new wire for the DRL. So it should be simple. Pretty easy install for me. If you want to watch the original video I have installing these, I'll try to have it linked down below. And while I'm at it, before I take them off, I thought I might as well show you guys. These are the lights. Again, they're spot flood. They kind of beam out here and brighten everything up. I have them angled where I wanted them. I adjusted them. It took me a while to do it, but here they are. Just as an example, let's go to the front of the truck so you can see. That's how they look. They're pretty bright. On camera, they don't look that bright, but they are absolutely hurting my eyes. They're blinding me. So for the price of these things, they're not too bad, but we're going to be upgrading these lights today. So as you see here, the ditch lights, the wiring comes right down into here, into this waterproof connector. This is what I'm going to be disconnecting and soldering on or cutting in that new plug so that they'll fit. I'll just have to cut up here and re-plug in that wire, and there will be a third wire that I'll have to rerun for the DRLs, but that shouldn't be a problem. So, because I will be tying it into these lights down here that are connected to my fuse somewhere down here. We'll look at that here in a minute. So I think for now, let's just take these off and maybe mock up the new Suparee lights. Okay, I have the lights off and disconnected. So next, I think what I'm gonna do is mount the new lights up here and run the harness, the wiring down here. And then what I'm gonna do is probably cut this plug right here up here somewhere on each side and start wiring in the new harness. But the only thing is that third wire I'm going to have to rerun up through the hood here. So I'll probably do that off camera and just do it really fast. That way I don't have to record all this. But basically just gonna take that, follow the lead that I have already put up here through there, just like I did. And if you wanna see how I did that, follow or go look at the other dish light video I made. But it's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. Just run it up through there and I'll run the third wire through here. I have some wiring that I'll use for it, and then it'll come down here and link up. So let me get some wire and I'm gonna start running that through here. All right, I ran this other wire. It was pretty easy. I did run a double wire. I didn't need to, but this is the only wire I have, unfortunately. So hopefully it's thick enough. I probably could literally just tie both wires into it and not worry about it. That way, you know, has enough wire in there. Anyway, the wire is ran. So now what I can do, I'm going to cut this zip tie and cut this plug off and then rewire the new plug in. Before I wire this new little harness plug in, I'm going to double check on here. They have a little diagram. So if you look at this, here's the plug this way. The ground is on the left side there. The white right there should be the main light, and the DRL should be red. We can test this by hooking it up to a battery. So that's what I'm going to do real quick. Hook it up to a battery and see which is which. I have a hot and cold right here coming from my 400. So I'm just going to connect the ground, which is the black, to this outer wire. And then red should be the DRL. See, it's not. It's backwards compared to what they say on there. And the white is the driving light. So we know red and black is the wires that we have to hook up, and the white is what is the DRL. So let's go over to the truck and see how it mounts. So I cut the old harness off right here. I'm gonna go ahead and split this electrical tape here so I have access to the wires. And then again, we'll connect the red and black to the red and black on this old harness I have, and the white to this new wire that I ran through. So let me get some of this tape off and then we'll try to connect them up. So now that we have our wires exposed here, I'm gonna strip a little bit of the wire off with some wire strippers and use these heat shrink solder connectors. I really recommend these things. They're cheap, and for what they do, they provide an excellent connection. So I, again, recommend using these. I'll have them linked down below. So again, just strip a little bit on each end of this wire, shove the two wires together, heat it up with a heat gun. It's gonna be easier to use a heat gun, but I don't have one, so I'm gonna use a lighter, which is pretty accessible to everyone. Okay, so here it is connected to here. I shove the red wire in to hit the solder point, and I'm going to do the same with this other red side. Shove it in until the wires connect in the middle. Again, it would be easier if you have a heat gun. I think a hairdryer will even work, but I'm gonna use a lighter, just lightly heat it. Wait till the heat shrink to start shrinking. Let it cool down a little bit. Come do this other side. And that way the wires are kind of in there and secure. And you don't have to worry about holding them. And then you can focus on the solder in the middle. So there's that side. Here's this side. Let's just hit it a little bit more like that. And now the connection is pretty secure in here with the heat shrink, but you want to double, secure it with the solder. So we're going to heat this solder up until it melts. Just like that. Probably can't see it, but it is melted. And again, hit this heat shrink a little bit more just to make sure it's completely secure. Again, it'd be better with a heat gun. I don't have one. And now you have to hold it for a second, because if there's any weight on this, it will deform the heat shrink and kind of pull it apart. So you want to let it cool down. Thankfully, it's like 30 degrees out here right now, and it doesn't take long for it to cool down. So, and then we'll do the same thing for the black and black here, and then we're going to do the white to our new wire that we ran for our DRLs. Just as a double check to make sure we have this wired up correctly, I'm going to go ahead and plug this in, and our light technically should turn on when I turn the button on inside, and then we know our connection is good. So we should see a light come on when I turn on the light inside. Looks like the light's on. So we have a good connection there. Now we just need to finalize again and do the DRL wiring to run it to the other side. Okay, the connection is secure. It's on there. I've put some black electrical tape on here, and we're gonna go ahead and do the same exact process to the other side. And then when I'm done, I will show you what I'm gonna do to tie in the DRLs. Okay, we have the red and black connected, and just like before, I'm going to go ahead and plug the light in and double check that the light turns on with these connections so that we know that they've made a good connection. So there's our light right there. If I turn on the switch, we should get a light. Yep. So we know we've made a good connection. Now I can move on to the DRLs, which this side is going to be a little bit different because we're going to have to tie it in to connecting down below. So essentially we have our DRL light right here. We're going to tie it in here like that, but essentially like this. So we're going to cut this wire and have this wire coming in, and then another wire connected to this coming out this way following the path, so that we can drag it down here to the DRL harness that I already made for the front lights that I have. Okay, I got my extra wire here. I have my wire from the other side. I'm going to twist these together. Again, you don't have to do that, but I'm just doing it. I'm going to twist these together like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a bigger connector here on this side because we have 3 wires coming in. And then again, this side to do that. We're going to heat all these up, and then the connection should be good. And to check and see if the DRLs are working on each side, we'll plug the light in and then just connect this wire to the positive terminal on our battery, and the light should light up the DRLs. And if they do, that means our connections are good, so we can continue on the process. Okay, again, if I hooked everything up correctly, if I connect this wire right here to the positive, our DRLs should turn on. And they do. I'm going to go ahead and double check the other side and make sure they turn on as well. And then we're going to move on to actually tying it into the harness that I have down here for that, and then mounting the lights up, and we should be good to go. If you guys watched my video installing these lights right here, they come on whenever the key in the ignition is turned on, which is what I want to happen with these amber DRLs for the new ditch lights from Suparee. So what I'm going to do in here, I have a plug that I tied into those lights, and I'm literally just going to connect the positive wire that I ran from up there, into the harness that I previously made right here into the positive side. It's going to be kind of difficult to film because I don't have anywhere to put this camera. So basically I'm just going to cut right about here, put one of those solder connectors to connect the wire back together with this spliced inside. Now there are easy ways to do it with those like crimp connectors and stuff, but I don't like those. I really like these quick solder connectors because they have some solder inside and heat shrink, and it protects the wire and the connection. So I'm going to get that done real fast, and then we should be mounting the lights up. I've ran into my first issue. These low profile mounts that I have with the bolts that Suparee provides are too long, so they're hitting the truck. But I'm going to show you a trick that you can do to measure these things and get them cut so that you can basically still use these, because the benefit of what they give you that has a square. Now you can go get some different hardware, but I'm nowhere near a hardware store and I don't want to have to do that. But it stops this from turning, so you can actually spin it from the bottom. But what we're going to do, I'm going to show you over here, is we're going to mark up how low we need to cut it. So we'll stick it in here like this, and essentially we probably need to cut like 1/2 inch off, or 1/4 inch. I would say closer to 1/2 inch. We should have plenty of room. In order to do that, what I'm going to do, make sure it's in here, I'm going to take the nut that they provide and probably, I don't know, about, if you could see that, about there. That'll probably be plenty, maybe a little more. And basically take an angle grinder and cut into that. I may take 2 nuts so that this thing can't move, like this. Let's see. Yeah, kind of like that. We'll cut off that much there, and then we'll mock up the same one on this one and see if that's enough. I'll put the bolt basically inside my vise right here and use an angle grinder to chop that off. That way we get a clean cut, and then when we unthread these bolts, it'll fix any of the messed up threads on the bolt. This is not something I typically recommend doing because it's a little dangerous, but like I said, I don't have a hardware store anywhere near me. It's like 40 minutes away, and I don't feel like driving 40 minutes for this, so we're going to make do with what we got here. So technically this bolt should unthread this nut, and if there's any messed up threads, it'll kind of correct it, just like that. Now I probably will file down these sharp edges, but let's go test it on the truck and see if it's the right size, and if not, I'll cut a little more off. We'll have to cut just a touch more off, so let me go ahead and cut it. I'll match the other bolt to size, and then we'll go ahead and put the lights on. I kind of underestimated how difficult it would be to put these nuts, the lock washer, and the nut on this underneath this little gap. Because I have low profile mounts, my fingers don't fit underneath here, and I actually had to have someone come out here and help me hold the bolt down from underneath while I put each one on one by one. And right now it's on, and they do give you the ability to slide this thing left and right pretty good, and then again we can tilt it up and down wherever we want, and then side to side. So I won't know exactly where to position it until tonight, whenever I am driving and get a good look at it tonight and get a good feel for where I want it to point. So as of right now, I think all I'm going to do is kind of center it on here where I think it, doesn't need to be all the way out this way, this way. I'm just going to basically center it and then tighten it down a little bit more. This is a size 13 or probably 1/2 inch thing right here. That should be plenty tight with that lock washer until tonight to retighten it. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get this other one on. Again, it's going to be easier if you have someone help you. It was very difficult to get that on by myself. I couldn't do it. I had to have someone else come out here and help me. And be careful you don't lose anything down on any of these cracks, because I've done that before. So let's get the other side on, then we'll plug these suckers up and turn them on. They are plugged in, hooked up. Nothing is tight. I did put the wires where I think they should go. So I'm going to turn the key on, and that should give us a good, the DRL should come on with the key on. Now again, these things aren't positioned, where I'm gonna have them. I'll just have them facing the front, but with this key on, let's see. Oh yeah, there they are. I mean, I think that looks pretty cool. And then obviously whenever I turn the truck on, the amber DRLs that are actually on the headlights right here and over there will turn on too. But I should be able to turn the spotlight on now, and it should come on. Let's see. Oh yeah, that is significantly, you cannot look at it, significantly brighter than the cheap ones that I had, which obviously they should be. These are a lot more high quality than those Nylights, and you can definitely tell. The weight of them, they're definitely heavier, so, and the nice heavy duty aluminum body. So now you'll probably cut to some nighttime footage and me adjusting them, and we'll see how they look. But other than that, that's probably gonna be the end of this one. All right, guys, that's gonna be the end of this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider subscribing. I'm sure I got some more Tundra content coming. I got a light bar that I wanna add kind of right there. So I already had the light bar, I've had it for a while. It's super cold out today. Shout out to Suparee. Thank you for sending me these cool dish lights. They're significantly better and brighter than the night lights that I had on previously. So if you guys want some of those, I'll try to have them linked down below. And all the other little things that I used, I'll try to have linked down below. If you want to help support the channel, use those links. It gives me a little bit of a kickback. That's it, guys. I don't even know what else to say. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a good one. Bye.